I'm going to use this video to break down how I am making my predictions for the Trump presidency. This way you will see exactly how I come to my conclusions, and you will see the logic behind how I have made my predictions. No man knows the hour, and neither do I, but we know the season. And if you were not curious, then you would not be watching this video right now. I am just making educated guesses based upon the information at hand. So we are going to start with my prediction that the dollar will crash during Trump's presidency. I need you to understand that I am not the only one talking about this. So the first example is from another channel saying the same exact thing. But if you search words like dollar crashes, you will find plenty of more examples. The second example is from The Simpsons, who are known for the uncanny accuracy of their predictions. Watch The Simpsons predict the crash of the dollar during Trump's presidency.
Imagine waking up one day, grabbing your morning coffee and checking your bank balance and realizing that everything you thought you knew about your money has changed, and it's all suddenly crashing.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Now think about how the BRICS, or Bretches countries, are pushing the dollar over the edge. And once the dollar crashes, Europe will crash as well, as Europe is propped up by the dollar. Then think about how the world has been headed towards a digital currency all this time, and you will see the writing on the wall, and I haven't even mentioned America's debt. Now, one of the most important things you have to know in order to understand my predictions is that the cabal control everything. Nothing about world events are organic. You can doubt me all you want, but the success rate of my predictions have been consistently accurate compared to people who push politics, for example, on everyone. So you believe whatever you want, but my accuracy speaks for itself. And once you realize that the news and politics are all theater, you look past the superficial images of things and concentrate on what the puppet masters want and how events play into ways to achieve their goals and ambitions. For example, the cabal controlled the elections. Republicans know they were cheated out of the 2020 election, but then their curiosity stops there. They see everything at face value.
They just can't process the fact that both the 2020 and 2024 elections were both controlled. No matter how close they get to the truth, they just can't let go of their programming.
So they trust a system that know is rigged, but somehow just can't make the connections in their heads to understand that the whole system is fake. So they take voting at face value, like someone is bussing in voters, or dead people are voting, etc. What they don't understand is that the cabal can make the results whatever they want, regardless of whether or not dead people vote, etc. But it doesn't matter how people vote, the cabal decides the winner regardless. So they look at things like what a candidate said at a debate to blame for election results. If only their candidate had said the right thing, he would have won. And that is not what I focus on in making predictions. Instead, I focus on what the cabal would gain from one puppet winning over the other puppet. After a while, you get a feel for their method of operations. For example, they often do a test run before they follow through with their plans. Like before the Twin Towers, they did a test run with jet airplanes before they did the real thing. So the 2020 election was a test run. They wanted to see what conservatives would do. So the attack on the Capitol after the 2020 election was a psyop. That was a test to see how conservatives would react. And all these big talk conservatives did absolutely nothing. So if they want a civil war, they will have to get the left to instigate it. They will riot at the drop off a hat. And that is one of the reasons why I predicted that Trump would win. The other reason why I predicted that Trump would win is because they will need a scapegoat from when the dollar crashes. I have been saying this for well over a year. And now look at this recent article, which says exactly what I have been saying for over a year. The article says that Trump supporters should be accountable for what Trump does. So even the media is confirming for you that my predictions are accurate. I have been saying that they need to glue Trump supporters to Trump, to blame the patriots. They will use Trump to blame the patriots for the crash of the dollar. They need the patriots to be demonized because they stand in the way of the New World Order. And if you have ever been to a Black Friday sale, You know how aggressive it can get, fighting over limited resources. Now imagine the crash of the dollar. If you really want to instigate a civil war, the most surefire way to do that is to crash the dollar. So that brings us full circle to my very first point. And this leads us to the biblical timeline of the budding of the fig tree. The prophecy basically states that once Israel becomes a nation again, then not one generation will pass. Since Israel became a nation again in 1948, that means we are right on time for the end times. The signs are all around us, such as the red heifers.
They need the red heifers to sacrifice, to bless the third temple, and announce the Antichrist. For the first time in thousands of years, red heifers are back in Israel.
What a coincidence. Red heifers in Israel after thousands of years. The prophecy of Israel becoming a nation again, and right at the time when a digital world currency is coming. And if you like coincidences, then you are going to love this one. Trump is basically referenced in a book written by Ingersoll Lockwood called The Last President. Lockwood's books predicted Trump, Barron, Pence, a divided country over an election that started a civil war over 100 years ago. There has been speculation that these books reference time travel, and Trump's uncle is connected to obtaining Tesla's instructions for building a time machine. But I digress. The main point here is that Trump is linked to being called the last president. This is just one more thing to take into account as these pieces it up. Now connect that to the average sentiments of Trump supporters during the election. They felt like Trump was their last chance for saving America. So their views of Trump being their last chance are very similar to the idea of Trump being the last president. What a coincidence. And if you are being honest, this cannot be the first time you have heard people say that America is on its last legs. That is why the slogan "Make America Great Again" resonates with people. And be honest with me, this can't be the first time you have heard the decline and fall of the Roman Empire compared to America. The way I see things, Trump is a character, just like the rest of the characters in this political theater. Do you actually think Trump's ear-deflecting bullets was real? If there was any more theater about this scene, they would be opening on Broadway 5 nights a week. But some people are willing to be deceived. But this is just an extension of all the predictive programming from Snoop Dogg and Kathy Griffin and others, which seems to imply that at some point, Trump may be taken out. If you know what I mean. This may be a future false flag that they use to set off a civil war, but this is just speculation and not a prediction. Now, if you remember, at the Butler rally, Trump lost a shoe. The shoe is a Masonic symbol of fidelity in engagements, like being engaged to be married. This is linked to Jewish wedding customs, where a groom is to inherit land as a result of a wedding. So if the groom hands the other party his shoe, it is a public declaration that he is stopping the wedding plans and renouncing his claim to the land, which he was due to inherit as a benefit of the wedding. So Republicans who see everything at face value will miss the Masonic symbolism here and only see a shoe. Again, they see the world as a series of disconnected events. Now keep in mind the Masonic symbolism of giving up a shoe, and I show my rationale for why I predict that Trump will be in office while they unveil the alien deception. Our main purpose here, in this life, is to accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior and to spread the gospel. So their goal is to deceive us and hide the truth in Jesus Christ. So they will use aliens, who are actually demons, to trick people into thinking something like, we got religion all wrong, or they were actually the ones who created us, or perhaps to have them conduct a fake rapture. Whatever it is, it will be designed to get people to stop believing in Jesus. That said, let's talk about Venom. They put truth in plain sight in movies, so I try to look past the superficial elements on the surface to see the hidden meaning in things. So there is a lot of cryptic stuff in the new Venom film. The words on the movie poster say, "Till death do us part," which come from wedding vows. Remember how we just talked about the Masonic shoe symbolism and weddings? Also, the name Venom is related to the Trump speech, where he told you that you knew he was a snake when you took him in. So Venom is like snake venom, and the snake is the snake from the Garden of Eden, of course, otherwise known as Lucifer, the god of Freemasonry. So this is tied to the Antichrist. And Venom, the character from the movie, is an alien. So this ties into the alien deception we just talked about. And remember, this is all going to tie into Trump losing a shoe. Watch this scene where the main character loses a shoe. Now some people will say that is trivial, that I am reaching for things. But this happens several times in the movie. And the name of the movie is Last Dance. So the word dance clearly is related to a shoe, as you need shoes to dance. So now back to the Masonic symbolism of the shoe. Since the act of giving up a shoe is meant as renouncing one's claim to land, then this may be related to renouncing claims to American sovereignty or the world. So this is part of how I came to the conclusion that the alien deception will be revealed during Trump's 4 years in office. But there is more. So you have to keep in mind, they really only have about 3.5 years to roll everything out, and they can only use the Trump card once. And with the goal of bringing on the New World Order, they have to get rid of the patriots. That is why Trump is here. He is like a Venus flytrap, and you are the flies. Can you think of a better person to fool all the patriots? Because I can't, and I have already explained why the dollar has to crash. Remember, they control all these things. And this all fits in with Agenda 2030. And keep in mind a bipartisan vote to make the Bible illegal, all while the United Nations recently claimed world sovereignty. And I am predicting a war, either a civil war, a world war, or both. They want us to fight each other and do their work for them. This might be due to the crash of the dollar. The reason for this prediction is that after the dollar crashes, people will be desperate for dwindling resources and they want to divide and conquer us. Then, after humanity has been left starving, sick, and exhausted from the horrors of war, that is when he will arrive with a solution to solve all of the problems of this world. He will come to create order out of all the chaos, like a phoenix that rises from the ashes of the world. And the world will cheer for him.